With the release of Godzilla X Kong and the New Empire right around the corner next month, I thought we should finally put an end to this debate on who's stronger between Godzilla from King of the Monsters and Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. And I know ever since GVK has released back in 2021, this has been a very hot topic in the Godzilla debating community. And with all the new metas from Legacy of Monsters and everything that's been going around, has any of these characters received a substantial buff that could help them win, or anything that can downplay them, which will make them lose against the other? And that's what we're going to be going over in today's video. Now, there's going to be 3 different categories that I will be going over for these 2 different versions of Godzilla. We will be going over visuals, statements, and who has better showings, or aka feats. So let's go ahead and dive straight in. Now for visuals. Now, the King of the Monsters novelization states that after Godzilla gets his nuke amp, he was brighter, which made him more powerful. So let's use these 3 atomic breaths from Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla King of the Monsters. And by comparing the first, atomic breath of the respective movies, King of the Monsters and GVK, we can see that the King of the Monsters breath is visually brighter than the one displayed in GVK. So that would already give 1 point to King of the Monsters. Now, I'm not going to be giving points, I'm just saying points as in which one has better visuals. The next atomic breath is the one that Godzilla fires into the sky after getting his nuke amp, and then the Hollow Earth drilling one. And once again, it seems that the King of Monsters breath is superior to the Hollow Earth feat, since it is a little less vibrant than the nuke amped one. And finally, we have the atomic breath in Boston versus the one of many in the Hong Kong fight. And now, I would say to me, the King of Monsters breath looks superior to the one displayed in GVK, as it's not as bright as it is in King of the Monsters. Now, I do want to say, for visuals, it kind of all boils down to the environment that these Godzillas are shooting their atomic breaths in. For example, when King of the Monsters fires his atomic breath in every single scene, Ghidorah has the storms active, so it kind of, It affects the atomic breath significantly by visuals. But for Hong Kong, wherein Godzilla is usually shooting his atomic breath, it is a lot more illuminated with all of the city lights. So you can make an argument that the visuals, at least for me, I wouldn't really use visuals as an argument for Godzilla 2019 versus 2021, since I think visuals are stupid. And another thing people like to bring up in visuals is that GVK Godzilla is a lot more agile and faster and just seems to be stronger. And now, the main reason that he's just looking a lot faster, he's fighting a faster opponent. There's no reason for King of the Monsters Godzilla to be out here running around. Ghidorah's not gonna fly away mid-fight and try and just, regain some energy. That's not what he did at all. He's really big. His wings are extremely, big hit points for Godzilla. So King Ghidorah's not gonna go around here trying to just run away the entire fight. Unlike Kong, who's a lot smaller and nimble, he can move around a lot faster, jumping buildings to buildings. So Godzilla's gonna obviously have to move faster to catch a faster opponent. While against a slower opponent, there's no reason for him to run. So in the visual department, you can argue either, but I think King of Monsters just is a lot more vibrant than GVK. Again, I don't think visuals are a very good argument. But moving on, I think this is the part where a lot of you are sticking around from. We have statements. Now, in terms of statements, GVK Godzilla is stated to be stronger multiple times than his past self, which of course would make him stronger than his King of the Monsters counterpart. Now, a couple things about these statements is that Toho statements can't be applied to Monsterverse. And I know a lot of you Godzilla fans out there going but King of Godzilla, Toho gave the rights to Legendary, so any statement that they say is of course valuable. No, it isn't. Just because they give them the rights, they don't have any authority over what statements go into the Monsterverse, nor do they even know what the entire cast is working on, what they're trying to input, things like that. So statements from Toho can't really be used. They're more so hype statements, like the ones made in the games and the one from that guidebook. They're just hype statements. They're not actually credible. Now, let's not forget that Toho also has stated other Godzillas are stronger than Heisei, like Zilla, Godzilla 2000, Godzilla from Megaguirus, aka Gyragoji, So, are we really going to say that Godzilla 2000 is stronger than Heisei? And I know a lot of you are going to be like, no, absolutely not. He doesn't have the feats to prove it. Exactly why the statements from Toho are, again, invalid for this. And also, the third statement is literally just stating that Godzilla is the strongest Titan that currently exists besides Kong. There's not another Alpha Titan, one that's superior to the rest, other than Kong. That's why he's called the strongest force. And now that we got those hype statements out of the way, let's get into Godzilla vs. Kong's real statements. Now, Dominion takes place directly after King of the Monsters, and it takes place up all the way into 2021, which went on for 2 years. And during this time period, Godzilla was tired and he was starving. And now Godzilla is stated to be half rested and in hibernation before being awoken in Godzilla vs. Kong. And statements also state that this new resting place didn't bring him up to full strength after resting for 3 years straight. Now, people can say that the half rest is simply a type of sleep that animals enter to preserve energy and all of that. But with the stated that he's half rested and that he stopped dreaming, with him dreaming, that would mean that he's in a deep sleep. Since when you're half dreaming, when you're dreaming, it's a deep stage of sleep. So that already kind of proves that Godzilla is pretty much hibernating. And also there's other statements also support with the fact that hibernating weakens you in the Monsterverse, with prime examples of this being Ghidorah and Mito Prime when awoken. Now, Godzilla's new home being better and not bringing him up to full strength isn't exactly a self-contradicting fallacy, since being better can mean that it's either it's barely better, it's somewhat better, it's far surpassing his original resting place, and stuff like that. So we can say that that Godzilla's new resting place is 2% stronger than his last resting place. Yeah, of course that's not going to bring him up all the way to full strength. It's barely better than the last place. And also, if it really is a better resting place, why wasn't that Godzilla's new lair? We know from Legacy of Monsters and just the Monsterverse in general, Godzilla can sense abnormally strong amounts of radiation. So if this resting place is stronger, why wouldn't he have just made that his new lair instead of the one that was shown in King of Monsters? But we also have one more statement, and that's the statement of Godzilla being superior to Ghidorah, which was stated by Jarrett, who is the designer of Mechagodzilla. And now, this is kind of invalid, as I've already brought up. Godzilla is weakened, but we also have the fact that Jarrett just states that these are his opinions, and he doesn't have any ties into Legendary, meaning that his statements, everything that he makes, is just, it doesn't have any validation in the Monsterverse. So overall, I would give, King of the Monsters a clear edge here. He's full strength, he's going against a stronger opponent, he's not weakened, nothing like that. And finally, we have feats. Now this is going to be a pretty short category because there's really only one main feat I want to go over for each. Now, we all know that Ghidorah in King of the Monsters is able to create massive Category 6 hurricanes, but a new calculation recently has actually gotten this from planet to large planet just by generating storms. And I know a lot of you are thinking, King Godzilla, that is way too much, that is way too high, that is definitely a highball for the Monsterverse. And now yes, you can say it is, but at the same time, due to Legacy of Monster statements that I have discussed previously in one of my last videos, planet to large planet energies is actually pretty common for the Monsterverse, and it wouldn't really be regarded as a high end anymore. And now, the feat that I know a lot of you are going to be wanking a lot is the fact that we have Godzilla's Hollow Earth feat. Now, even if we apply subatomic destruction to this, it only reaches into the zettaton ranges of power, which is below Ghidorah's storm feats, which is in the yotatons of power. So in terms of feats, King of Monsters Godzilla would actually be superior to the Hollow Earth feat, which would also be backed up by the other statements of him being full strength and everything like that. I do want to say thank you guys for this watching the video. I hope you guys agree with my verdict. If you don't, you can leave a reason as why in the comments or message me on Discord if you have me. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you guys next time.